Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to YAHAWAH, BaHashem, YAHAWASHI, BaHashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us this truth through the Spirit, and shalom to the mighty Akim and Akwath out there who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity. And today, I'm not going to be doing a topic. I'm going to be making basically a series of videos dedicated to helping, brothers and sisters that are newer to this truth and who have not gotten the fundamentals down. I'm gonna help you guys, get the very core basics. Okay, basically, I'm gonna start from Genesis and then eventually work our way up to the end, Revelations, okay, or Second Maccabees. But what I'm right now, as I'm starting in Genesis, I'm gonna try to stay in Genesis. Well, I will stay in Genesis, but down the line, as I'm getting in later chapters, later books, and whatnot, then I'm gonna be going to precepts, as in I'm gonna ask questions that require you to go to a previous book in order to answer a certain question or get better understanding. All right, so right now I'm gonna be sticking to Genesis, and hopefully this is a very helpful video. Okay, so firstly, okay, in Genesis, I'm not going to go through the entire chapters. I'm just going to go through the milk parts, just the core things that you need to know at introductory level. Okay, so firstly, Genesis chapter 1 verse 5. And Yahweh called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. Okay? So, now looking at this verse, it's saying the evening and the morning, okay, were the first day. So, basically, it's starting off by identifying that the evening is the start of the day, and then the morning would be the end of the day. Okay, meaning that when the sun sets, that's the start of the day, and as the sun rises, that's Slakia. When the sun sets, that's the start. That's the end of the day, as in it's the next day. As in, like, say if on August 1st, the sun set, then as soon as the sun set, it's August 2nd. All right, so that's basically how days work. Okay, that's how the scriptures define days to work. All right, and it's not just Genesis 5, but Genesis 8, Genesis 19. All right, so you see, evening is the start of the day, morning is the end. Okay, the evening is what starts the day. All right, so next, Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7. And the Lord Yahweh formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Okay, so now we see that how man was formed, or Adam in this case was formed, was through the dust of the ground. Okay, and then after being molded through the dust of the ground, the Most High breathed the breath of life into his nostrils, meaning with the breath of life Slakia, from the dust is basically like the vessel. Okay, that's the actual thing. That's the tool that we use to actually quote unquote live. All right, but the breath of life is basically the soul, as it says, and man became a living soul. All right, the breath of life is the soul. All right, and okay, yeah. So moving on, I actually need to make note of that. Never mind. In Genesis chapter 3, from the top. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Most High Yahweh had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath Yahweh said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yahweh hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. Okay, so the serpent went to Eve, okay, to get Eve to eat the fruit that they weren't supposed to eat. So basically, the serpent went to Eve. It didn't go to Adam, okay? And the woman was able to be deceived and beguiled into eating the fruit, and then leading Adam to eat of the fruit, okay? Because Adam and Eve were one flesh. They basically have a lot of trust for each other, all right? So obviously, hearing one thing or listening to your spouse, okay, or listening to your partner, that's a given. But obviously, not being as knowledgeable because they had not yet eaten from the tree of the knowledge of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Adam wasn't as wise to understand. Well, not just me making excuses. Bottom line is, Eve got Adam to go off, but the serpent got Eve to go off. All right, and in Genesis chapter 3, verse 16, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Okay, so now this is basically a curse that the Most High gave unto Eve, and by extension, women. All right. Basically, the curse is when a woman is having kids, that's going to be a time of sorrow. Okay, meaning that the pain that comes with having children. Okay, that's basically the curse. If Eve had not gone off and gotten Adam to go off as well, then women wouldn't have to go through pain to deliver a child. All right, that wouldn't have existed. But because she did, that's the curse that she has to deal with. All right. And now, in the very next verse is Adam's curse, verse 17. And unto Adam he said, Because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, Thou shalt not eat of it, cursed is the ground for thy sake. For thy sake, in sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. For out of it wast thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. Okay, so taking it step by step. Verse 17, because Adam hearkened unto the voice of his wife, meaning he knew. It's not that he didn't know that it was wrong. He knew it was wrong, obviously, but because he listened to his wife over the Most High Yahweh, then he's getting punished for it. Okay, and the punishment, which in question is, because and that has eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. Okay, in sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Meaning that you have to rely on and actually be able to differentiate from good and evil. Basically, basically, instead of living a life of no worries, being in the Garden of Eden, just enjoying yourself, you're gonna have to go through trials and tribulations. Okay, that's the easiest way to put it. Verse 18: thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. Okay, so the thorns and thistles, basically the pain is gonna, the fruits that he has to eat is going to, the metaphorical fruit that he has to eat, which is the knowledge of good and evil, is going to come with pain, thorns and thistles. All right. In verse 19, in the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground, and for out of it wast thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. You have to keep on doing it. You have to keep on you have to eat. You have to keep on, going through this stuff until you die, meaning return to the dust. All right, because as we went over in Genesis 2, Adam was made from the dust of the earth. All right, so until you return to the dust, meaning die, then you're gonna have to, rely on, eat bread, and do work. All right. So in the next one, a quick note. Another thing. The next thing is Genesis chapter 4, verse 1. Just a quick note. From the top, and Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. Okay, so this word knew. Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived. Okay, the word knew in this context basically means sex. It means, intercourse, because we obviously see the context that comes with it, which is she conceived and bare Cain. Okay, so Adam had sex with his wife Eve, and she had a son. All right, that's basically the quick note. Okay. Next, notice the first son that Eve had was Cain. All right, and then in verse 2 again she bare his brother Abel. So this Abel was the second son. All right. In verse 3, and in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Most High. And Abel he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. Okay, and jump down to verse 8. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, Slakia. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. Okay, so something to remember is Cain was the older brother, and killed his younger brother because he was jealous of how Abel Abel was Abel's offerings was being accepted by the Most High, while Cain's offering was not. Okay, so he killed him for that, and Cain was the older brother. All right, verse 9. And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond thou shalt be in the earth. And Cain said unto the Lord, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out of this city. Slakia. Thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that every one that findeth me shall slay me. Okay? So, now, we understand that, basically from this, after killing Abel, Cain was basically cursed to be a vagabond. He had to leave his mother and father, Adam and Eve, and anyone that found him would kill him. All right. So another thing to note is that it said that anyone that find him would kill him. So it didn't say that Adam or Eve or your parents would, if they find you, they would kill you for killing Abel. It said anyone that found him. Okay, so this would suggest that there are other people on the earth besides Adam and Eve, and then their sons. All right, and a precept to that, our first real precept, Genesis chapter, in the same chapter, Genesis chapter 4, verse 16. And Cain went out from the presence of the Most High and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. Verse 17. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived, and bare Enoch. And he builded a city, and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. Okay, so now this is a precept, an actual precept to it. Even though they're so very close to each other, but it's a precept that shows that there were, in fact, more people on the earth, because the only people mentioned among Adam and Eve were Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel. So Adam and Eve, they didn't have any daughters. It was the only woman that we knew of was Eve. All right. And in addition to that, it also said that Cain went left, okay, and he had to go to another land, and he went to another land, and at that other land he found another woman, okay. So another thing was he didn't take, if Adam and Eve did have a daughter, he didn't take one of them with him. Okay, he found a woman at that land. Next, in Genesis chapter 5, we're going to make note that Adam, the son of Adam, we know Cain and Abel were the sons of Adam. Also, there's after Abel died and Cain left, Adam and Eve had another son whose name was Seth. Okay, so Seth had children, And in Genesis chapter 5, basically it says it connects the lineage, and it shows you the children of, the line of Adam. Okay, so from Adam to Seth, all the way down to Noah. All right, so the Noah that we know of, who built the ark. Genesis chapter 6. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them. Genesis chapter 6, verse 5. And Yahweh saw that the wickedness of men was great on the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Okay? And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. Okay? And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man, beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the earth. For it repenteth me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Most High. Alright? So the Most High saw that wickedness was growing on the earth. Okay? So there was a lot of wickedness at the time, but the Most High had found grace in Noah, because Noah wasn't partaking in that wickedness. All right. So the Most High was going to spare Noah. In Genesis chapter 7, we have, and the Lord said unto Noah, Come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by sevens, the male of his and his female, and of beasts that are not clean by two, the male and his female. Okay, so now we see very early on, before the laws were given, the Most High labeled certain beasts as clean and unclean, meaning that already the animals like the pigs and the fowls, they were already considered clean and unclean. All right, so that's a very important thing to note. Going back to Genesis chapter 6, verse 9, these are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generation, and Noah walked with Yahweh. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Verse 18, But with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. Okay, so we see that Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and then all their respective wives. Okay, all the 8 of them would be spared from the flood. All right, and also we see Noah's sons' names are Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right, so I believe that's it for the first. I don't know what I'm gonna call it, what to call this, but the introduction. Basically, you are encouraged to read more. Don't just take this as, oh, this is all you need to know. I covered everything you need to know. You do need to read some more. There's more details in it, but I just took it from the core things that I'm going to be, testing you on. But basically, Abaratazah, you guys study this. I'm gonna be putting out the actual quote unquote test. I don't know how you guys are gonna do it, but basically what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna ask you questions. I'm not gonna tell you the questions now, okay? Because that would be too easy. But I'm gonna basically I encourage you to study the subject that's going to be study the subject. Go over what I went through here. Um, I basically went through Genesis 1. I pulled questions from Genesis 1 all the way to Genesis 9. All right. So try to find try to read through all of that, and then I guess when you hear the questions, either comment or write down in a notebook or something, or write down in your own Bible the actual precepts, you know, um, the marking the precepts, or highlight and whatnot. Basically, that's basically what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna ask you questions within these 9 chapters for this one lesson, and yeah, Abaratazah, you guys actually participate and try to test yourselves and whatnot. So Abaratazah, I hope this lesson was edifying. Abaratazah, I hope you try to actually get ready for the test. I'll try to put it out the day after this is uploaded, if not 2 days after this is uploaded. Who knows? I'll probably do it the day after, maybe. I don't know. We'll see if my time will allow. But I'll try to get it out as fast as possible. I will not. Abaratazah, YAHAWAH, I don't go past 2 days. But yeah, with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. I hope you guys get ready for the test. And with that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahawah, Ba'Hashem, YAHAWASHI, Ba'Hashem, Rakakwadash. And with that, I want to say Shalom.